Hey scholars, it's Miss Marnon. So here's the crash course for 7.RP.2a. This standard is all about deciding if a relationship is proportional or maybe not. So there's 4 different ways we need to decide if something's proportional. The first way that we learned about was using a table. So if we're using a table, that's where we had to do that k is y over x. We're checking for a constant unit rate. And that's going to be in each row, each column, across the whole table. That was always k, it was our unit rate, right? Y divided by x. So if I had a table, let's draw one in here. If here's my x, here's my y, and I had some values here. This is when you guys would come in and you would add in our extra column for k, and you would do y divided by x. So 2 divided by 1, 4 divided by 2, 6 divided by 3, the whole way down. And what we were looking for was for this. We wanted every number to be the same. So that one would have a constant unit rate. This is proportional. If we got different numbers, it would not be proportional. So the next one is a graph. There's 2 things we're looking for a proportional graph. We're looking for it to be a straight line through the origin. And the origin is at 0, 0, that beginning of the graph. Just like how we've talked about Batman's origin in class, graphs have origins. It's where they start. So our graphs always start at 0, 0. So we were going to look at a proportional graph. So here's my graph, right? My y is my vertical, my x is my horizontal. It has to go through this point, 0, 0, and then just go up in a straight line. It could be kind of flat, it can be really steep, as long as it's a straight line with no curves, no bends, no squiggles, and it starts right here at 0, 0. Then it is proportional. If it doesn't start at 0, 0, or it does have one of those curves, it is not proportional. Equations are kind of hard. They're going to be a little harder when we get the standard 2c, but really for proportional equations, it just needs to look like y equals kx, where k is some number that we put in there. So it could be something like y equals 3x. That's a proportional equation. They can swap out the variables and use different letters. They can do d equals 20p. That's still proportional, as long as they're not adding or subtracting or doing anything weird. Proportional equations. Now for a description, this one's a little trickier. So for descriptions, you're looking for a constant unit rate. As we almost always are. But when we're looking at a description for a constant unit rate, you might actually have to calculate the unit rate, like one of our 7.RP.1 problems. You might have to do like a quick table to help yourself figure it out. Maybe you're really good at equations and algebra and you want to write an equation for the description, but there's really no one way of looking at a description saying, yes, I know that's proportional. You need to just make sure that if there is a unit rate, it's constant, right? So it doesn't change. So it's not you read 20 pages a day and on Saturday you read 30 pages. That changed. It's not constant. So 7.RP.2a, just deciding, is it proportional, yes or no? So you don't need to know all the fancy vocabulary other than proportional, yes or no. And then we can say my 3 favorite words. Yes, it is proportional because it has a constant unit rate.